Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the Tormented Souls commentary, but what is this? Take a look in the upper left corner and, what's that up there? It seems that we are being watched. But, anyway, as with the previous part, you'll either be watching, next week or 5 minutes ago, depending on when this is uploaded. Yes, seems that the girl they're gonna be operated on. And, of course, there's some devilish intent. But maybe we can take this elevator up and ask that, mysterious creature up there, but there's no power! And of course, it doesn't have a battery. Of course, we saw the battery charging station, put two and two together, and obviously, well, we're gonna have to find a battery and charge it up. But then again, that's gonna take some time. Time that we may not have, so let's grab a bite to eat and, focus our efforts in other places. By the way, you see those knights? And yeah, that was what that was hinting towards. And of course, this is pretty much appropriate training to, basically an oft-used and, quite frankly, a bit of a more useless mechanic in the game. Because, yeah, besides, you know, killing enemies the traditional way, you can save your ammo and just lead them into traps and basically have those two knights over there, given the 1-2 slash. Though, I mean, personally, I don't really use it all that often because, well, this might just be me, but I've never really gotten it to work very effectively. And the enemies it even works against are mainly just the claw fingers. I mean, if you try and use the hop-alongs, they're too short for the blades to even reach them. I haven't tried it against some of the more powerful enemies we'll be seeing much later in the games, and I don't even think you have an opportunity to even really use it against them. So yeah, that's just something that I just kind of be asked using. I mean, it is required if you want to get one of the trophies for it to lead enemies into a trap, but I mean, it's, I don't know, it's not entirely necessary, so fuck it. But anyway, more reading and more stuff. Yeah, I mean, to talk about how I'm pretty much handling these, document segments, I am gonna be leaving them there long enough for people to at least read, but, I mean, again, I am a bit of a speed reader, so again, I'm pretty much reading them at my own pace, going from left to right, and again, by the time I'm done, I'm moving on. If you want a bit more time, just soak up the informational juices, pause the video. Because, I mean, I'm leaving them up for a bit, but, you know, I ain't waiting for evers. Don't want to have a recording fuck up, which is what happened in the next part, so, yeah, I had to re-record everything. By which I mean I had to pretty much record from, an earlier save file, and this was pretty much the thing that prompted me to, well, just start from the beginning again. Well, not start from the beginning, but start from a set point. And another one of those key doors. Sorry about that. There's children playing outside, and they scare me. Maybe Father Christianman can ease my pain.
Ah, we meet again.
Father? What are you doing here?
Don't you see, child? I am eating some soup. God feeds my spirit, but I have to take care of my body. Oh my, what is this doing in my soup? Get rid of this thing, would you?
I found some information about the twins. I think someone means to perform surgery on them.
I see. There is an operating room on the West Wing. Who would do such a thing?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out. You said that operating room is on the west wing of the mansion, right?
That's right, the operating room is on the West Wing, on the second floor. But to get there, you will need to restore the power to the electric lock that's on the door that connects that area.
I'll see what I can do. Thank you, Father.
God be with you, my child.
So, now we pretty much have, well, primary puzzle and pretty much the meat and potatoes of this part. Basically, we have a bolt, so, yeah, now Caroline can pay for some weapons from Gadgetron. But, I mean, apart from that, it's pretty much just a bit of a runaround, so, yeah, pretty much just makeshift repairs. I mean, we're pretty much going to be learning as such anyway, but, yeah, you pretty much use the bolt as a conductive agent, and bada bing, we do the thing, and we can continue onwards and upwards to our deluxe apartment. However the fuck that song goes. And of course, we also access more of the main hall, by which I mean just, well, I mean, yeah, we're pretty much just getting a quick and easy access, as you are of want to do. So again, I mean, the floor's broken over there, so we couldn't access all of the main hall, but again, you saw that gate that we noticed earlier on the other side of the mansion? Well, now we can open up the gate and have instant access to the dining hall and, well, wherever the hell else we need to go, and ooh, penis. God, I'm fucking childish. But, yeah, you don't have to interact with that one, it's literally only the Sandal, the Untying Nymph, or whatever the thing was called. So, sadly, Mr. Penis Statue will be, forever forgotten. Never to be seen again. So, yeah. Now, you might be thinking that we might be able to access a lot of this place, but no, this is pretty much a back and forth thing where we pretty much need to use the bolt to access this door, then go up an elevator, then go back down, go around and get the bolt again to access another circuit breaker. Again, pretty easy to get your head around, and it's just a bit of a lengthy commute, which would normally be the time where I bust out some handy-dandy tangents, but again, I really don't know much about the development of Tormented Souls, so pretty much going at this with the knowledge that I already have. So yeah, it also does kind of make me wonder a little bit more about the Wildburger Hospital's funding. I mean, the game never really expands upon this, but I'm guessing that with the new hospital being set up and, well, a bit of later controversy surrounding William Wildburger himself and the history behind this place, I suppose that might be the primary reason why this hospital began to lose funding and or the public's trust, but yeah. It would have been interesting to see the game kind of delve more into that sort of aspect. I mean, you do get to see at least some degree of what society is like in this little town area that they inhabit, but never as much as I'd like. There we go, that's the ticker. Ammunition wastage. Anyway, we have our map, which we already collected, so no need to use the war one. And of course, now we have the thumbnail for this video. And like, I mean, again, it's one of the things about games of this ilk, where again, you can have a lot of cool looking camera angles like this, but still not interrupt gameplay, so, you know, you get some cinematic stuff, you'll get some dining and the dancing in the hell. And the short and sweet of it is that you basically, well, look cool, but not interrupt gameplay. And again, if you have more game in your game, then that just means it's more gaminess for game. And that's why these games are better. Yes, drinking sincere while I criticize modern gaming. Even though this is technically a modern game, but whatevers. Anyway, now we have access to the elevator, and if you could recall that little tray that we can move around, yeah, we pretty much need this to hold the lift as we get back to specific areas. And again, that is kind of necessary, because you can't access the lift because the button on this floor is broken. We don't ever fix it at any point, so yeah, just make nice usage of the tray door stopper thingamajig and you're pretty much golden. But of course, it's never gonna change the fact that we won't get a maximum soda. And I'm really thirsty for blood. I gotta say though, like, I mean, although it is very... Ooh, how do I put this in the nicest way possible? Very, imitation is the best form of flattery with its main hall mansion design. I don't know. I mean, it's obvious that it is borrowing a lot from Resident Evil Remake's color palette, but I don't know, the setting is quite nice, and the musical choice, though very much in the RPD-esque sort of design from Resident Evil 2, I don't know. It's kind of a weird balance that Tormented Souls really kind of strikes on me, because, like, I mean, its influence is quite obvious as to what it's, you know, deriving its inspiration from, but at the same time, like, it borders on ripoff, but at the same time, it has its own context and, you know, standing for everything that I really don't mind it, which I suppose in some cases, like, how Stalkley is presented kind of gives it, like, an unpretentious edge. So, like, I mean, again, you could pretty much just look at it as, well, copying Resident Evil's influence, but I don't know, like, the way Tormented Souls does it just doesn't really bother me as much as, you know, another game that desperately wants to be a Resident Evil Silent Hill thing otherwise would be. I don't know, it's kind of difficult for me to disseminate, but there's just a sort of allure to this game, which I think primarily does lie with a lot of its context and, you know, the way in which the story weaves itself around, which, again, I don't think is the strongest narratively that's ever existed, or, you know, the most internally consistent, but I don't know, there's a level of sincerity with how it's presented which just kind of makes me smile. Anyway, off we go. Whee! Although, by the way, there is a bit of a discrepancy. I don't know if it's to do with the developers themselves, but, oh, just listen here. Yeah, the sound of a closing door, even though we're in the lift. Probably should have been something you paid attention to. But, again, I really don't know about the development cycle. From what I can tell, it was worked on for quite a number of years, but I really don't know what the developers... Or at least how skilled they would have been in games like this. I don't know if this might have been their first one or if they had a few projects beforehand, but, yeah, there are a few finer details that tend to be a bit loosey-goosey. I don't know, I guess maybe some of the amateur attempts at stuff like this might be part of why I find it a bit more endearing. There's a real human element to it. It's not flawlessly constructed, but likewise it's also not so badly programmed that, you know, you dive into an AVGN-style rant of, what were they thinking? With a first aid kit to repair the developer's brains. And, no, that isn't like a, you know, Resident Evil sort of thing where you open the thing up and get some stuff. No, it's pretty much just whatever else. We also get the instructions to do the thing that we just did in the lift. Whatever. Oh yes, and even in the save room, if you go into the darkness, you will die if you turn off your lighter. So, yeah, don't do that. But in any case, short part today, and unfortunately I record over my progress, so I pretty much had to start from a different position. But don't worry, you'll be seeing something quite interesting next time. So on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and I'll see you next time. Take us out, Caroline.
What is going on here? This place is infested with nightmarish creatures. I need to be strong. I can't quit now. I've discovered that a surgical procedure is to be performed on 2 twin girls. I hope I can get to the operating room in time. There's something dark going on, something grim.